Hi, it's Dr. Lori, and I'm here with a list of valuable Hummel and Goebel collectibles. There's lots of different collectibles, and I want to show you which ones. There's tableware that's going to be valuable, ornaments, dolls, wall art, home decor pieces, and collectible plates. So I want to go through these for you so you know what to look for and what's valuable. First off is tableware. So Goebel, of course, is very famous for making the Hummel figurines, but they also make lines of other types of collectibles. Some of them are based on Hummel figurines, which are based on the drawings of Sister Maria Hummel. But Goebel pieces, specifically tableware, you're going to see a lot of it, and the values are high. For example, the Friars are one of the most popular of the designs lines that are made by Goebel. Out of Germany. First of all, the monks are very, very popular. They're popular for a lot of reasons. They come in different colors. There are red ones, there are green ones, which are pretty rare, and also, of course, the typical brown garbed monks. They're creamers and sugars. This is a sugar bowl and a creamer right here on the table. And then you also have, of course, other types of tableware. Now, the Friars specifically will have values depending on the size of the pieces. Now, they have mugs and they produce tobacco jars, which are usually pretty significant in size, creamer and sugar. Sometimes you find other kinds of serving dishes, little tiny toothpick holders, all kinds of things in this particular line. They're very collectible. Lots of people look for them. They're popular in the late 50s and into the 1960s. This set right here, about $300 for this set, and the value range for many of these different types of Friars in different colors can range as low as $75 and up into the several hundreds of dollars range, up to about $700 for a big set. So they look for sets, they collect them, and there's something you want to look for. The other thing that you want to look for in the tableware environment are, of course, these Goebel glasses. So it looks like a little Hummel figurine as the base or stem of the glass, and then it's actually blown or mounted glass on the top. Goblets, some are actually champagne goblets, some are drinking glasses, but they have usually as the stem, even of small cordial glasses, as the stem is an earthenware ceramic hand-painted Hummel figurine in miniature. Very popular, very desirable. Those range in value for one glass between $25 and $45 a glass. They're really desirable, they're very collectible, and they're worth money. These are values based on actual sales. That's right, someone actually paid the bill and collected these pieces and paid these particular values. It's really important that you understand that it's not just, oh, they're Hummel figurines and they're everywhere, or they're Goebel pieces and they're everywhere, and nobody's paying these values. A lot of people are paying a lot of money for those pieces that might be tucked away behind a shelf in a thrift store or, behind the cupboard at grandma's house. So you want to look for them. The next item on my list of valuable Hummel and Goebel collectibles is ornaments, holiday ornaments and nativity sets. That's right, Goebel made a lot of holiday ornaments and nativity sets. The ornaments are small scale pieces. Oftentimes they look like Hummel figurines. They have a similar look to them as the drawings by Sister Maria Hummel. But the ornaments are quite small, and they have a loop on the top so you can actually put a ribbon on them and hang them on a Christmas tree. Many people just put them on shelves or collect them and keep them in curio cabinets, but these ornaments are desirable, particularly at holiday time. Value on the small scale ornaments, they're only about 2 inches tall. On the small scale, earthenware ceramic ornaments can range in value between $10 and $25, depending on the detail and the construction and design of the actual ornament. The other point with respect to Goebel manufactured pieces of earthenware ceramic, hand-painted, are in fact nativity sets. And the nativity sets date all the way back. Some of them are true Hummel-inspired nativity sets, and others are nativity sets of different lines made by Goebel and their design firm. So the designers at Goebel will actually make these types of pieces. This particular set is a popular set, dates back to the 1960s, and is introduced throughout decades. So you can see this one has the 3 wise men and a shepherd, Mary, Joseph, the Christ child, and 1 lamb. They're marked the same, and they should be marked the same, a set like this has significant value. What do you want to look for? When it comes to nativity sets, you need the bigger the better, not only in size or height, but also in number of pieces. So if you have many pieces to your nativity set, you want to make sure you have as many pieces as possible that goes with that line. Some nativity sets are just Jesus, the baby Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and that's your nativity set. You know, the Blessed Family, and that's it. But in fact, the more you have, the more valuable they'll be. Also look for construction and look for good hand painting and glaze work. Some of them don't have full glaze. So if you look at this particular example, if you look at the shepherd here, you can see, in fact, that the only part that's glazed is actually his headdress. His headpiece is glazed. The rest of the figure is matte and not glazed. The only other area that's glazed are the eyes, which is characteristic with Hummel figurines and also with Goebel collectibles. So I want you to be aware of that. The more glaze, the higher value typically. Another piece on this list of the most valuable Hummel and Goebel collectibles are collectible plates. That's right, the annual plates that many people collected throughout the mid to late 20th century. You're going to see them. They usually feature one of the most famous Hummel figurines. In this case, some of them are very, very valuable. When you're looking at, in fact, Hummel nativity sets, you know, they could be upwards of $10,000 for a large scale multi-figural nativity set. However, when it comes to collectible plates that you would get every single year, and oftentimes they were the annual holiday gift for many families, the collectible plates can range in value as low as $35 to $50 and as high as several hundreds of dollars. Why? Certain ones are more valuable, like the 1976 and 1977 Apple Tree Girl and Apple Tree Boy. Why? Well, it follows in the tradition of some of the most valuable Hummel figurines. If you watch my video on Hummel figurines and the most valuable ones, you'll learn which ones are most valuable. So the Apple Tree Boy and the Apple Tree Girl are plates for 1976 and 1977, and you'll notice that on the plate it says the date right on them. Some people love that and some people hate that. It depends on the collectible. The collector might say, oh, I don't want to see the date because once the year is over, I don't care about it. But really, when it comes to Hummel and Goebel figurines for these plates, the figurines on the plates mean more value. For example, the 1976 and 1977 plates are worth several hundreds of dollars each, whereas others do not command those kinds of values. It depends, of course, on what the image is. Another very popular collectible plate is the early 1990s versions of the boy and the girl sitting on the fence, and they're sitting pretty on the fence. And one of the things that this relates to is a recent sale, ready for this? A recent sale of over $5,000 for a small scale Hummel figurine of this particular image. What was different about that Hummel figurine? It was very rare because it had 4 instead of 3 fence posts. These kinds of things are what make Hummel figurines and Hummel collectors spend a lot of money. So it has to have something that's relatively different. It has to be one of the quintessential, characteristic Hummel figurine images. So the early 1990s collectible plates are again in that high hundreds of dollars value range, $500 to $700 for just one plate. The plates can be extremely valuable. Remember, they have to have good condition, they have to have proper marks and stamps on them, and of course their size is important. When you also look at plates, you'll notice that Goebel made a change on their plates. This particular plate, which relates to spring dance, you can see the 2 little girls dancing. This plate has no date on the front of it like their other plates, but this collectible plate still has some value at about $55 for one. So remember, look for those collectible plates as well. And on my list next of valuable Hummel and Goebel collectibles, some of the things that people don't realize is that the images for Hummel figurines were actually licensed to other companies to make other objects. One of the things that were made were licensing lithography or lithograph prints that could be hung in bedrooms of course, certain Hummel figurines. So if you didn't want a Hummel figurine, but you wanted maybe your child's bedroom to be decorated with the images of Sister Hummel? Well, you could actually get a lithograph, so you didn't have to worry about the kid breaking the Hummel figurine. So this lithograph, and many lithographs are out there, and you'll see these often. In fact, postcards by Sister Hummel, which were made prior to the figurines themselves being in production in 1935, those postcards were also oftentimes traded and can be very collectible too. The lithographs and the postcards can be upwards of between $25 and $50 for an individual print. So again, for home decor or wall art, you could select to frame up a Hummel image in lithography. So that's another one of the collectible Hummel and Goebel collectibles. They're valuable. Another collectible and valuable Hummel or Goebel object are music boxes. They're very collectible in the 1980s, and many people right now are looking for music boxes to decorate bedrooms, dens, guest rooms, and such. And the music boxes actually had an image of a Hummel figurine on the front, and then you opened up the music box and it had a typical cylindrical music box in there. The music boxes themselves were marked made in Italy because the music boxes were made in Italy. However, the image on the top of these music boxes were in fact Hummel images, and they were licensed from, of course, the Goebel company, who had the rights to Sister Maria Hummel's drawings. And then dolls. Hummel dolls, a lot of people were very surprised to learn that Hummel made baby dolls of rubber and larger dolls that could stand on stands with outfits made of felt and accessories. So if you had the Mary Wanderer figurine, your child could actually play with a Mary Wanderer looking doll. The dolls were made of rubber, they had felt outfits, and they oftentimes had the same accessories as the figurines. The dolls were very popular in the 1950s and into the 1960s, and of course they remain valuable today. Large scale ones, about 12 inches tall, 10 to 12 inches tall, you'll see them in pairs, a boy and a girl. They could go as high as $200, $250 for one of those dolls, and those are the values that people are paying for these collectible dolls. The baby dolls that actually look like little babies, and you know the tradition of German doll making throughout the 20th century and before. You're going to see these little baby dolls that also would command high values and of course look like Hummel figurines, just very, very young Hummel figurine images or figures. So these pieces are very desirable, collectible, and there's something to look for when it comes to, of course, trying to find the list of valuable Hummel collectibles and Goebel collectibles. Because remember, it's not only the Hummel figurines that are collectible, but a lot of the pieces that Goebel makes are very desirable even today. I'm Dr. Lori. Thanks for being with me. I'll see you next time.